our Sunday live. Oh my gosh, you made it to another week. I'm Lesley Logan, and I'm excited to talk about cleaning products. So we're gonna get into that because that was one of the questions I got on a comment, and that's what we do here on Sundays. We answer any of your questions about Pilates, demystify a bunch of stuff, and we have fun doing it. So it's one of the things I can do where it's like in real time. It feels like we're together. I love the community aspect. I love that so many of you show up week after week live and chat with each other. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. We've had some really fun lives and this year so far. So if you missed a live with Brooke Seiler and Maria Earl, I highly encourage you to watch that one. And if you missed the one with John Gary about his stuff, that was a really fun one. Yes, they're a little longer than my normal lives, but they're really special. And if you like that, let me know. We can keep bringing some fabulous guests. But of course, it's more important that I'm answering the questions you have because you've got some great questions. So, all right, here's the deal. The question was, I've been using 𝐸𝐲 as a cleaning product. For the equipment that I have, but now that I have a lighter gray color, I'm a little worried about using the 𝐸𝐲. And I will say I've never used 𝐸𝐲. I don't know what the product ingredient is. I did not Google it. I probably could have. But whatever you use on a black color Nagahide should work on a light colored Nagahide. So you definitely want to make sure that it works across anything, because if it is going to fade, it'll fade the black too. I personally have two things that I use. When I had a studio, I really liked using Bounce Body's cleaning product because you can buy a big bottle of it and then put a couple, whatever drops of it in a bottle of water. It lasts a really long time. They obviously will make sure it's great for your equipment. It's great at killing all the germs, all that kind of stuff. And I really, really liked it. Now that I'm in just my home and my equipment is being used by me and sometimes a couple other people, I use Method. The reason I say I've switched to Method is not because Method is bad for the equipment. It's just that, it can be a little more expensive than a big, jug of something that I'm diluting. So I use that and it works just fine. The thing that you want to be mindful of when you're picking equipment cleaner, and by the way, I just did a quick search. Most Pilates equipment is using Nagahide. So if you're using Bounce Body or Grotz or Pilates Design, or like most of them are using Nagahide, which is a company of material, right? And they actually have, you can see all the things that they qualify as a good cleaning solution. I know a lot of people are big fans of tea tree oil or another essential oil in their cleaning product. And I will say that's not something that I recommend because I haven't seen it being approved on any of the websites for the material that is created. And the reason is, what I know from working in retail and working around leather is, once you start putting oil on a leather, you actually have to keep putting oil on the leather. Otherwise, it will dry out. And so I'm just not a fan of essential oils. You do you, though. I'm not here. If you love it and you've been doing it for 20 years, you've had no issues, like, my goodness, have fun. But I worked in a studio where they would use a tea tree oil. Of course, it smelled so good in there, and the equipment cracked over time. And so I'm personally not interested in paying for reupholstery. So that's something I would consider. But you can use, Nagahide themselves says you can take dish soap, soft dish soap without any chemicals or scents, and just dilute it with some water and spray, and that's going to be fine as well. They also said that some of those cleaning wipes are also usually fine. You just want to make sure that there's no acetones, acetates, something with a B in them, because that could dry out the material. You want to make sure there's no bleach in them. That would be something you would want to make sure of. However, they will say if there's a tougher stain, you can do a concoction that has tiny bit of bleach. Of course, you always want to test it on a part of the Nagahide before you use it on the part that people can see, because you want to make sure that, like, for whatever reason, that doesn't do it. But here's how I clean my equipment. And we do have a longer form video of actually cleaning equipment and how it's important and why it's important, because I've worked on many pieces of equipment, and there are some brands that, honestly, depending on the cleaning product that you use, that you could actually be stripping some of the protected coating. I don't know if I can get this in frame, but like on the wood rollback bar or push through bars, I won't name the name of the equipment. It's not Bounce Body or Contrology, but over time, the cleaning product that was totally appropriate for the Nagahide and appropriate for cleaning products was creating, between the sweat of people's hands and the cleaning product, it was creating a sticky film that we could never get off. We could never get off. We had to buy new pusher bars and rollback bars, which is really annoying. So you just want to be mindful of what you're using, because yes, you want to kill germs, but you also don't want to have to replace parts of your equipment. So it's really good to look at what the brands are suggesting that you use, because I could say that I use Method and it's the best thing, but I don't know where you got your Reformer. I don't know where you got your Cadillac, and it might not be the best thing for your piece. You always want to look at that, because I don't want you to like accidentally spray away your warranty and your guarantee on the equipment. So because of my home, I can just put the Method in an unmarked bottle. Obviously, if you have a public studio, depending on the state or country you live in, you might have to have markings of what's inside. But this is just literally Method. I also have used Myers. Again, Nagahide says like you can use mild dish soap. Myers, just take a few drops in some water, shake it up, and that's going to do a really, really good job. So after each use, nice little spray, nice towel off, no big deal. I also kind of prefer to just spray the towel rather than the equipment, because again, if you've wood framed equipment, some of that spray might get on that wood and it might actually start to like take away that shiny coating. So you just want to make sure that you're allowed to just spray it anywhere. Look at your manufacturer and see what they're suggesting. If you spray the towel, you should spray the equipment. So I prefer this because it just makes sure it means I don't have like spray spots on my aluminum that it will come off. It's not a big deal, but like I don't like the way that looks, right? So I spray this, but because it's just me and a few clients, and once a week, what I do is I take like a baby toothbrush, some sort of like very soft, mild toothbrush, and I will spray the Nagahide, and then I will start with a section, and I will use a microfiber towel. So these are really good. And I was a microfiber towel, and I go like with little scrape, and then right, mild toothbrush. And that gets deep in the grooves. Here's the thing. When you use light color equipment, it will show just like dead skin. And people go, oh my God, light color equipment just looks so dirty. Just so you know, the darker equipment has the same stains. You just can't see it. So you still need to do it even if your equipment is black or graphite or a navy. You still want to do it. It just doesn't show as much. But you use the microfiber towel and it really gets in those grooves. So that's a once a week thing for me. Also, you'd be surprised like how like dust gets into little grooves. So I love that. Ideally, the cleaner that you're using, you can use on all parts of your equipment. So it just makes your life so much easier. So my suggestion is really try out mild soap and water. Or like I said, I really love the Bounce Body cleaner because you can get a big jug and dilute it. If your studio has got like 20 reformers, you just got people going hour by hour, obviously you're probably going to want to use some sort of wipe that is approved by your manufacturer. That said, I still would do a deep clean, especially weekly with the toothbrush, because people don't clean your equipment as well as you clean it. They don't clean your studio as well as they clean their house. So I would just do some extra checks on all of that, because you want to make sure that things are getting nice and get all the grossness off, right? Yeah, Brad's face. It's like, yeah. Like people are always like, oh, I want people to wear socks because it's cleaner. No, it's not. Most of them are putting those socks in their dirty shoes. Most of them are then taking those socks off and just putting them in the car, and it's the same pair of socks every single time. So like for me, I had at a studio where we had these wonderful, cool eucalyptus towels, and it had like, so they were put in water with like eucalyptus. Honestly, I would make everyone wipe their feet with those eucalyptus towels, and then they could work out, because at least their feet smelled good. And I knew their feet after that were much cleaner than some of those socks, because they were working out in a gym, and then they're coming to my studio with their dirty socks. Ugh, no. What do we think, Brad? Yeah. I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some ideas. Again, really look at your manufacturer. I would definitely do a Google on their website. They should have suggestions for you. And then, just know that like you're going to want to take some time to go through it. I would also watch our long form video on this topic, because we really go into details of like places you can clean. And for my studio owners, like I know this is a lot of clients watching this, and you have home equipment. You got to do it for yourself. Yes, I know you're the only one using it. I definitely would do a little wipe down. So a couple things. Depending on the equipment you have, So my Contrology line, unless Contrology tells me I should try putting oil on my wheels, I do not put oil on my wheels because you're ideally not supposed to do that. For other brands, you might actually have to oil your wheels. So these are where you want to make sure you're looking at what the manufacturer suggested and always talk to them before you do something that's outside of what they suggest in the manual that they gave you to make sure your equipment is working up to par. The other thing I like to do is just take the carriage all the way off my reformer and like get onto the wheels. What I'll use is I'll just use the same method spray to track. Yeah. I use the same method spray and then a towel. I don't care about getting grease on it, and I'll spray the track. And the reason is like, even if you have a HEPA filter, even if your house has some amazing filters, just dust lays on the tracks and it will change your wheels, right? Like I used to have 3 dogs. I only have 1 now, so I have much less dog hair, but you'd be surprised how much dog hair ends up on the tracks. And my dog is never on my reformer. My own is not a reformer dog. August definitely was. So you want to take the carriage all the way off and then wipe the track down. Again, just the same regular spray should work, but you're probably going to not love that towel after a while. I like to take my gear bar out. Not every brand's equipment you can take the gear bar out, get into those grooves. You'd be surprised. And then I was going to say, is those of you who are studio owners or teaching clients publicly, one of the things that I like subconsciously notice about a studio is hair in the well and on the tracks and like in the pedal of my Wunda chair. So like just make sure you get on your equipment like a client would and see what they see, because like sometimes people just clean the surfaces, but like when you're doing pull straps, you're looking the well, and that's where like, because of the way foot traffic is in a studio, the hair just like kind of gathers and the dust gathers up there. So you want to see that. Look at the Yeah, they're looking right at the floor. Look at the tracks. When people do push down on the Wunda chair and they push the pedal down, there's always hair there. I know. How is that possible? Are people just like shaking their head on the Wunda chair? No, it's just like from people walking around, it just gets bust from those people sweeping. So I used to always make sure that like my studio cleaner, I would go, here is the deal. You're going to clean the floors and all the surfaces, the window sills, like you do everything. And I need you to like be thinking differently. I want you to come in here, get the hair out of here, do this, because even if people aren't clean freaks, subconsciously their brain is going, this place is dirty. Right. And like, it's just, it's not fun. And like, if I'm at a gym, if I'm doing my push-ups on the floor, and if I have to go grab a mat, just do push-ups on the floor because it's dirty, I'm like, this is annoying. Your floor should be clean. This is a fitness floor. So this is the things you want to be thinking about. I understand wanting it to smell clean. Honestly, if I were you, be mindful of the scents that you're putting in the cleaner to clean your equipment, because that can actually dry the equipment out. And I would rather you like get one of those centers for the studio, some sort of diffuser, because then this space is going to smell clean thoroughly throughout the space and then not damage the equipment. Also, it won't be something that touches someone's skin, so that's important. Yeah. Oh, there's dust even from dogs who don't shed. Yes, it's kind of insane. It's a lot of dust. And then Megan, you're on an ancient one, and it sounds like you're oiling it like consistently, so you just can't stop. It's like when I worked in a purse store, we had these beautiful leather purses. If you ever put leather oil on the purse, you had to do it consistently. Otherwise, eventually it would crack because we go, hey, where's my oil? So just something to think about, something that can be considered of, so that you don't forget to do it. Yeah, this is fun. You guys are amazing. Happy Sunday. I'm going to start saying this. We are devising a plan for the Sundays between March 18th and April 12th to continue to do our lives. It is quite possible there'll be a couple weeks that we miss in there. I will let you know as it gets closer, but I just wanted you to have a heads up. We'll be in Europe. So, and some of the weeks I'm actually like wrapping up teaching, and let's be really honest, like wrapping up a whole workshop event and then coming live. The timing might be challenging, so I don't want to leave you hanging. We will keep you posted as each Sunday gets closer, so you'll know exactly what's going on. And of course, if you're subscribed to this channel, you'll see when those live dates are and you can subscribe to those. So thanks so much. It's still my birthday month, I think. At least until February 26th. So make sure your friends have subscribed to this channel. I really would love to see us get that subscriber number up, because I know how helpful these videos are for you. That means they're helpful to your Pilates loving friends. So thank you so much. Have an amazing day.